Good morning.
Welcome to the morning show.
Yeah.
The Big Show with Glenn and Angel on Kiss 92.
Good morning.
Sometimes getting out of bed in the morning is a lot to deal with all at once.
Good morning, Singapore. Welcome to the biggest and best breakfast show in the world. And we have our chefs in the studio today. We've got Chef Mathew Leong, who took part in this year's Bocuse d'Or, as well as Chef Bruno Menard. Welcome back.
Thank you, guys. So happy to be here.
Good morning and welcome back to Singapore, Chef Mathew.
Thank you.
You're not based here, obviously. Tell us a little bit more. Wait, firstly, congratulations.
Thank you.
I mean, you came in 6th at this year's Bocuse d'Or competition in Lyon.
Yeah.
The last time you did this, you came in 12th.
Yeah.
So you've climbed 6 places, you're number 1 in Asia, 5 spots ahead of Japan. I mean, that is an achievement in itself. Congratulations. How do you feel?
I mean, the whole journey has been fantastic with the whole team, and I feel great. I feel great, and to be back home in Singapore with you guys is even better.
So where are you based now for the people who don't know?
I'm based in Norway, in Stavanger.
Mm-hmm.
So I've been living there for the past 8 years now.
Okay.
And every year I'll be back home to Singapore.
Right.
Okay, all right.
Now, the Bocuse d'Or happens every 2 years, as Chef Bruno Menard told us the last time he was in the studio. And basically what happens is every 2 years, this gastronomic competition takes place, bringing together all the best chefs in the world. What's the feeling like gathering like-minded people gathering together?
First of all, it's pride. That's the feeling. You know, you represent your country. You have, Angel, you say 6. It's amazing because you have 24 countries in the grand final, but you have to realize in the beginning, in the first year, you have 77 countries fighting to go on the grand final. So we are 6 over 77 countries.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's absolutely amazing. You have all the best chefs on the planet who are here. You have all the media of the planet who about culinary here also. So pride, definitely the pride to represent your country, and our country is Singapore. Even if I'm French, you know, that's very weird to say that, but Singapore been treating me so well for the past 13 years of my life. That's why it's my not my duty, my pleasure to represent Singapore as a president and to support amazing talent like Matt is absolutely certainly the best young chef I met in my life to compete at that level. Absolutely amazing.
You speak about pride and you're wearing a Singapore flag and flying it so high. Look at that T-shirt. I mean,
Did you wear this in France as well?
Yeah, sure. You know, absolutely. You know, it's like football. If you're PSG or OM, you know, you there going in Marseille with the PSG the T-shirt. So that's what I do. I'm so proud to be part of the Singapore community and to represent Singapore. I have to. Yeah.
Amazing.
And we have to congratulate France because, I mean, France won the Bocuse d'Or.
That's right.
How many times has France won the title?
Many times, but this time was a very special round for them because Paul Macron, who won the competition, his father before him won it 30 years ago.
Oh.
So it was the story is too beautiful.
Nice. It's like full circle.
Yes.
And the next contest, Bocuse d'Or turns 40. Well, it's the 40th contest.
40th, yes.
Wow, that'd be
40th years anniversary.
the 40th
It's
anniversary.
every other
Yeah.
year, so it's 20 years ago we started.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Yeah.
No, 40, no,
40.
it's not.
It's the 40th. Yeah. And,
All right.
Yeah.
We are with Chef Mathew Leong as well as Chef Bruno Menard right here. We'll continue this conversation on The Big Show TV. Meantime, here's Jack Harlow with Lovin' On Me on Kiss 92.
So the last time Singapore had a best showing was in 1989 with William Y. He's now with SATS, our in-flight caterer, and he's a corporate chef at SATS. And are you going to take part again, Chef Matt? Because you've done this is your second time. Will you be taking part in 2027?
You know, the Bocuse d'Or is like an addiction. You know, it's like what Chef Bruno and I were just having the conversation this morning. It's like everything just finished on the day, and I felt very empty after that. After training 2 years with the team, and you never know if you are going again. But trust me, during the first hour, you're like, okay, we're going to rest, we're not going to do it again. That's what I said in 2021. And 1 month later, I was like, you know what, I'm going again. But you never know, that's life actually. But I hope to represent the country. I've done it twice, and it's pride and honor to represent Singapore.
And I think it's an advantage that Mathew has done it twice already. The more experienced you are.
No, you got the thing, it's okay, even if it's Matt who is cooking that day, it's a F1 team, it's a teamwork, it's a team spirit, it's a team effort,
of
and
course.
It's a team passion, we all around him, we surround him with our expertise, our network, our whatever is necessary for him to perform correctly, and he's the performer. And if he feels confident with the team, if the whole team can go again, it's a question mark. We can eventually think about it. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, let's have a look on screen now, because we've got some photos from the Bocuse store in Leong.
Let's watch.
What? That's it? The photos here. That was anticlimactic.
Shalini, what happened there?
So walk us through what's going on here.
Matt, you
Matt?
should say what is that.
So what we are doing is actually doing the full-time run of the competition. So we need to train and clock the hours so we can actually move in the kitchen without thinking in a way. So it's like a robotic move. We know exactly where everything is, and we train in a way so accurately that we can actually close my eyes. I remember Chef Bruno was there in Stavanger, and when I put something in the oven and it's almost 1 minute, I will say, I think time is almost up, and the iPad is there actually. So we train so many times that we can actually communicate without even talking.
So you were in Norway training for something that was going to be held in Lyon.
Yeah.
But was there a replica kitchen or something so that you know?
So what we did is the planning is in 2025. We just ended the Bocuse store. I started in 2022 to actually plan the Bocuse store, build the kitchen up, and find the team. And Chef Bruno was on board, Chef Julian, and the whole Bocuse store Academy together. We set up this whole system, how we're going to do it, and we built a replica kitchen like the actual Bocuse store.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What was on the menu for the competition this year?
Yeah,
This
the
year-
two. You had two 5.5 hours, 2 dishes, right?
2 dishes. So the first one is the platter with a salad rack and celery with stone bass and lobster. And we need to serve a hot lobster sabayon. And for the main platter, is the highlight of the Bocuse store is always the meat platter, the huge one, which is actually a roe deer with foie gras and a side garnish with a dumpling. And we have the most important one that is I'm struggling the most during the practice was the pie, the tuk. So Chef Bruno has received many phone calls about how to make the best pie. What does a tuk look like, and it's just...
What did you struggle with though? What is tuk?
Yeah,
I
what
mean-
is tuk?
I mean, it's a maybe Chef you can...
So a tourte is a French course. It's the French dish. It's 2 layers of dough.
Okay.
And within inside, in between, you have a farce, a stuffing, something. This one was very precise. It's supposed to be 20 centimeters round diameter and 6 centimeters high, and very strict round 6 centimeters. And you need to cut that into 16 pieces, and you need to put whatever you want, but need to put foie gras inside and to layer that. Look at the picture.
Oh,
that's exactly what it is.
Is that yours, Chef? That's yours. Wow.
That's Matthew's one.
Beautiful.
So this one was made with 2 different dough. There was a puff pastry dough around, and you have a pâté en croûte dough on the top to have different consistency, and extremely difficult, technical to do something like you see on the picture.
Matthew,
here.
this is like yerping.
Yes, it is actually the
Right, it's
inspiration
mooncake.
of
It looks like a
mooncake.
the
Right.
mooncake. So we tried many different style of doing it, but to actually control the puff pastry to reach the right dimension.
Because of the rising, right?
The rising.
Yeah.
So we have to actually custom made the molds to actually make the puff pastry rise perfectly.
Amazing.
And to cut 16 is always the challenge. To cut half like a PVTA is always easy. It's beautiful. You cut half, but to cut 16. That is the biggest challenge.
So that's the idea behind Bocuse d'Or, because I'm thinking like they made you go to the pastry, made you do the layers, the exact, which is almost like baking, and then they have you with the meat dish and cutting all that. So they're testing out every talent that chefs can
what
provide.
happened? You have 24 countries, 24 chefs or president or judges at the table. half 12 are tasting the meat, 12 are tasting the fish, and we put the notes together in the end. But every country have the same ingredients with the same things.
Instructions.
The instruction, but you need to put a glimpse, a flavor of your country on top of it to represent your country. So that's why the mooncake shape. That's why many ingredients and flavors in the recipes, and probably Matt is more eager to explain that.
What ingredient? Okay, let's do that on air.
Kiss 92 traffic.
All right, if you are on the SLE heading towards the BKE, right after the Woodlands Avenue 12 exit, look out for an accident and avoid lanes 1 and 2. Also on the MCE towards the AYE, at the MCE AYE entrance, another accident. If you spot anything else, it's 8855
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our guests for today, Chef Mathew Leong, who placed 6th at this year's 2025 Bocuse d'Or, and also Chef Bruno Menard, who is the Bocuse d'Or Singapore Academy President. Congratulations once again, Mathew. I think you've done really, really well. 6th this time round. In 2021, you came in 12th. You know, you're gaining experience. I'm sure your culinary skills are being sharpened every single time. But what people don't quite know, because we were talking about it on the Big Show TV earlier on, is that you've been preparing for this for the past 2 years. Even coming up with a very similar kitchen for training, and a lot of work has gone into this. And so, we're very proud of you, Mathew. Thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you. I mean, it's like I say, the whole journey. It's just memorable. And representing the country is a dream come true, and doing it second time is everybody will be very happy to be doing so. And
we were just looking at some of the photos on the Big Show TV, in which you can watch later as well on Facebook as well as YouTube. Mathew's pie represented Singapore. It looked a little bit like a mooncake. And when Bruno mentioned, all the countries, right, when they present the dishes, it's got to be representative of their countries, so to speak. Something like a Miss Universe pageant.
Yeah, for
where
sure,
you
with
go
the
out
costumes,
there,
right?
everyone has, their own costume.
But so you represented it, obviously, like Glenn mentioned, the shape of a mooncake, but you used some local ingredients as well. Can you tell us what you did with that?
The thing is, the most important to show your national identity. So we use Asiatic ingredients as well, like kaffir lime, calamansi inside, pomelo inside, to show some national identity. So when people eat, there's something different on their palate. And the most tricky thing, we're on kitchen 12, is the last kitchen. So Asian flavor is always bold and a lot of umami and so much flavors on it. So I think that is a plus point for us.
Right. Everyone uses that term umami.
Umami, yeah.
I've always wanted to know, what exactly does it mean?
So there is a very, we can say, you have the primary flavors, salty, bitter,
sour,
all that. Yeah. And it's the quintessence of, it means the emotion somehow. The umami is the emotion of the flavor. When you eat something, you say, most of the time you have umami behind. Yeah.
That's kind of like the flavor you can't pinpoint, right?
Yeah.
Soy sauce offers some umami flavor to it, right?
It highlights. Probably highlight,
MSG does that as well, apparently. Your favorite ingredient of Top Chefs. So let's talk about your restaurant in Norway when we go back on the Big Show TV and find out a little bit more about that cuisine.
All right, it's 8:18.
Kiss 92 time check brought.
So tell us about the restaurant in Norway that you're at. You've been there for 8 years,
so
right?
So we can go and visit you. If
So the thing is, 2020, when I was 21 years old, Chef Sven-Erik Reno and Tori Reno, the chef owner, and his wife actually gave me the lifetime opportunity to move to Stavanger. That's how I actually went to Norway.
How did they find you? Yeah.
No, I sent so many CV and they actually accepted the CV. So as a young chef, it's a dream come true to be working in a Michelin star restaurant in Europe. So I went there without thinking, with the blessing of my family, and I went there and I worked there for a year, and then I moved to Oslo, and then I'm back again. into Renault.
Such a brave, young, ambitious man.
Wow.
What were we doing when we were 21?
My gosh, running around hitting the clubs. But I mean, okay, so what kind of cuisine does the restaurant
It's a Norwegian cuisine and a little bit of Asiatic influence inside the restaurant. Of course, even using kaffir lime oil and stuff. But everything shows around the region of Chef Fenerick philosophy of cooking. Everything needs to come around
close
the region.
by?
Yeah, close by, so we have the freshest ingredient and to show his identity.
So the Asiatic flavors are because of you?
No. I mean, the restaurant has been using it all this while, and Asiatic ingredient has been used commonly worldwide now.
Yeah, and you have to say that Sven Erik was also a competitor for Bocuse d'Or. He won silver Bocuse d'Or.
Wow, amazing.
So it's for me to be there, and recently he achieved the third Michelin star, and doing the Bocuse d'Or with me together is a dream come true.
Right.
Wow.
What is it about being a chef for you, Matthew? Because I mean, obviously, you sending out your CVs when you're 21, it was something that you knew you wanted to do very early on in your life. How did you get interested in wanting to be a chef?
I mean, when you are younger, when you won the first competition, you think you are good at it, So, but obviously, I'm not good enough. But it just motivated me, and Chef Jimmy Chok actually gave me the opportunity to be in his kitchen. And from there on, I fell in love with being a chef, and I continued this career.
Let's go even further back, though, like to your childhood. What inspired you to even start being interested in cooking and chefing?
Definitely at home.
Well, who was the inspiration? Your mom?
With my
okay.
Mom. She's a great cook at home. She always cook this Cantonese cuisine and stuff. So at home, until today, she's the head chef. And we have an argument. We have an argument 2 days ago, and she told me she's the best chef at home. I said, yes, you are.
Don't worry about your Michelin starred working son in Norway. What do you miss when you're away besides mom's cooking?
I mean, it's the family. And for me, I come back to Singapore quite a lot. So whenever I miss home, I'm always back home.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
It's, but of course, the family back then was my wife as well. My wife is in Singapore now. She's in Norway with me. So
nice.
So it's a little bit better now.
Of course, that's the way it should be.
So I asked her to move over to Norway, and I'm not at home 7 days a week after with Bocuse d'Or. So she was really bit pissed.
And so, but Bocuse d'Or was, let me see, on the 26th. Wait, what date was it again?
End of January, yeah.
26th and 27th. Very close to Chinese New Year.
Yeah. So my family actually flew to
They came
Lyon.
up.
Yeah,
okay,
they came
for
up,
the contest.
And we actually celebrated the Chinese New Year after the Bocuse d'Or in France.
Oh, wow.
Which is just nice.
That's
Reunion,
nice.
dinner, and then after 29th was Chinese
New Year.
Yeah.
That's lovely.
Bruno, do you support? Did you celebrate Chinese New Year
Absolutely,
in France?
in Lyon with a nice pâté en croûte. And
No lauré?
no lauré, unfortunately. We did the lauré after back home also. We kind of have a celebration with the family also, and we get our lauré also here.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I'm looking at Bruno. He's more Singaporean than most Singaporean.
So
Which is why we like you so much.
Yeah, absolutely. What's next for Chef Mathew? I mean, what are you gearing up towards? Another Bocuse d'Or or... I don't know.
So the thing is, after the Bocuse d'Or, when I went back to the Airbnb, and my wife was like, you know what, I'm going to support you again to do the Bocuse d'Or, So the last time 2021 was on the 12th position. Now it's on the 6th, and then I said maybe it's
maybe
a
podium.
number,
Maybe
Yeah,
podium.
6 by
Number
6,
one,
if you make the math, you know.
top of the podium.
And I said, I told Chef Bruno, I said, if we have the same team again, let's do it. And he was like, yeah, let's do it again. But I mean, for the time being now, we will have some rest. I think the team has worked hard enough.
Yeah.
We have some rest, and we see what is the future plan.
So when you're competing, right? You do have an assistant.
Yeah.
Who was your assistant?
So she's a fantastic young chef. Her name is Sinva. She's from Voss. So she actually moved.
Photos.
Yeah, she actually moved from her hometown to Stavanger to train full-time Bocuse d'Or with me.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Okay.
So at the start, she was. We were saying, okay, you need to work 5 days and have 2 days off, and she was like, no, we go 7 days a week.
Amazing. And where's she from? She's from Norway as well.
She's from Norway.
Okay,
as well.
right.
So she's 4 hours away from the city of Stavanger, and when she said that, I was like, you know what, I like you, let's go. And then the whole journey, I think we took 3 days off due to Christmas vacation because Europe is so huge to see the family. After that, on the New Year and New Year Eve, we are in the kitchen training actually.
Wow.
Yeah.
How many in your team? Like, what makes up the team?
In Norway, we have 11, 12,
12 people probably.
Yeah, and then in Singapore, we have a lot.
About the same. Yeah.
Wow. Do you think you're ever coming back to Singapore to maybe open your own restaurant here?
I mean, as a born and raised Singaporean son, it's very important to come home and to do something home to motivate young future generation of chefs and to believe in their craft and to help them. And I hope to be back home one day.
Okay. But saying that, after the show we go to a school to give some lecture, and especially Matt, for sure, he's the one who did it. He was the candidate. So we're gonna go to not motivate, but it's a kind of motivation to see a young talented chef who goes in international competition, who goes at the highest point of this competition. I mean, I wish I had some people come in a school when I was a young chef to say, I want to be like you, I want to. So that's what we're going to do for the next couple of months also. And whenever we have Mathew in the city, we're going to go from school to school and try to explain, to motivate, and this passion we have to share it with this young generation who want to represent Singapore in the future. Yes.
And not just hospitality schools. You're talking about regular schools. Just
no. Speaking. For the moment, it's hospitality. Definitely. But what you say, it's a good idea because we do that in France also. To go in schools, you need a light in your life. You need to follow a light, and the brighter it can be, it's the best it is. And I was like that when I was young. I got mentors, and Mathew too, and that's why we're here for. We're here to the transmission in our business is extremely important.
Yeah, because sometimes kids they don't know what they want to be when they grow up until they hear it. Yeah. Then all of a sudden they're like, oh my gosh, this is something
it's
I feel like.
It's always the inspiration.
Yeah, so I feel you have a lot to offer.
Yeah.
Our kids especially.
I feel like, Bruno, you're so different. I mean, all the top chefs in the whole world and all that. But I feel like for you, you're giving back, so much in this area. What drives you and what makes you feel like, hey, this is actually something that I want to focus on? Grooming the next batch.
But it's very
talent.
simple. I don't remember to do anything but cooking. My family, as I told you last time, my entire family, father, grandfather, were in the business. I got this. It's in my blood. And I just follow my. What I love to do. That's very simple, And as you say, I come to the edge today where I got 50 years almost in this industry. I've done many things and almost very good things. The 3-star, this competition is part of the very good thing I've done. And when I see the joy around me, I can bring, if any, and there is a lot, to be with the team. You saw the picture before. I mean, I want to cry when I see that. Those moments are absolutely.
Makes everything worth
it's worth all the money of the planet. It's emotion. That's why we try to give every day in a plate for people. Moment like that, it's a pure emotion, and it's you don't want to trade that for anything else.
Yeah. So that's for the chefs. So you put so much effort into the plate. Yeah. And then we just take 3
seconds to eat
30 seconds to eat everything.
Okay, no, that's exactly what I want to talk about when we go back on air, about your favorite dishes and and just the food culture.
Okay, stand by.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the PIE towards Tuas, the vehicle's broken down before the KJE. Before KJE, so avoid lane 3 if you're there. Heavy traffic elsewhere, wherever you are this morning. Stay safe.
Welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Hey, we promised we would bring Mathew in when he comes back from Bocuse d'Or, and here he is, Chef Mathew Leong, along with the Bocuse d'Or Singapore Academy President, Chef Bruno Menard.
We are surrounded by Michelin stars this morning, but what I want to talk about as chefs, you eat, you breathe, sleep, eat chef life. You know, you're constantly in the kitchen coming up with food, dishes for consumers and customers. But at home, firstly, do you cook for the family? Secondly, what's your favorite dish to make at home? You know, throw away all the plating and everything else. What's your favorite dish to make? Chef Bruno?
Oh, it's always very simple, you know. Try forever for many years to be on diet, as you can see, works very well. And
you're not overly big, but you're not like skinny
no,
either.
but
So you know
we
what
say
they
don't trust a skinny chef. But
He's a skinny chef.
How come, Mathew? You cannot grow fat, is it?
I'm trying to maintain this, but it's a family gene. After 35, you
You'll
will come.
see.
You will come.
now, cooking at home, it's can be extremely simple, like a salad with a nice poached egg and some crouton and something on top of it, or something. I love fish and meat, so a nice piece of meat that I'm gonna cook and share. Open a
Nice
bottle of wine.
wine.
I mean, those moments are also extremely important. Eat well, drink well. Not too much. Be careful, people. And don't drink too much. I'll drive after. Definitely not. But that's what we eat. Very simple, If it's at home and nothing special, or even better, if you want to relax, you take a taxi, not your car. You go in your favorite restaurant and eat something in the city. There is so much to offer in Singapore. That's also very lovely.
Let somebody else do the cooking for once, right? And you, when you're at home?
For me, most of the time, to be very honest, I don't cook at home. My wife does the cooking.
Okay.
And 2 weeks ago, I just cooked koku vang, because it's simple.
Oh,
Koku
yeah,
vang, yeah.
so it's just a simple. For me, it's everything at home needs to be simple. Clean food, as simple as possible. Maybe even steam a fish, and that's
Right.
about it.
The least amount of work, the better,
The least
right?
amount
Yeah.
of work, but I like clean and impactful stuff. Not too complicated though.
Yeah, but it's so nice that all of y'all cook at home. Your wife cooks a little bit. Your mom is a great cook.
Great cook,
and,
yeah.
and you cook. You guys can take turns.
Yeah, take that. But I think cooking at home is a joy as well. It's
Therapeutic, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Mathew, for coming in today, and Bruno, thank you
pleasure.
so
Our
very
pleasure.
very much, and we are looking forward to the next Bocuse d'Or.
2027.
2027.
We're very excited about it already.
All right.
Thank
The
you.
moment you guys decide,
Let us
if
know.
you're going to Bocuse d'Or together, let us know. We want to invite you guys back on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. We've been
you.
speaking to Chef Bruno Menard as well as Chef Mathew Leong. All right, we are back. And who is this guy?
Yeah,
we haven't seen this guy for a long time.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Nian Tjoe.
You haven't been here for a while.
Good morning, Nian Tjoe. Someone with the glasses and all that. You look like a completely different person. Nian Tjoe, our senior transport correspondent from the Straits Times.
Hello, good
What
morning.
have you been up to and where have you been?
Oh, I was last week. I was actually away to do a test drive of
Oh,
a car.
can you tell us?
No,
Oh.
not yet.
Can you say which country you were in?
I was in Portugal.
Portugal. Ooh.
Yes, it's good weather.
He's been busy. I think next time I want to go and test drive cars with Nian Tjoe.
No.
I bumped into you yesterday.
I know. I took that spot first.
Yeah.
I
Oh.
kind of did. Yes. Yeah.
Choked
I
already,
choked
yeah?
She did.
Yeah, choked already. Long time ago.
I must have not been around.
You were around when this happened.
Yeah.
Okay, so when will you be able to announce that Portugal
well,
drive?
Well, the review goes out next weekend.
Okay,
Yeah,
and
because
that's
there's a global embargo.
till next weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay, we'll
Don't
look
fall
out for
for
that.
tricks. I shall just keep on like.
Yeah. I
Make
will
you
find
slip.
out. I will find out.
Okay, so today we are talking about
EV
incentives, right? Boost.
big trucks adoption. Yeah, to
of-
speed up the adoption and more MRTs. I saw
Yes.
something about Hume MRT.
Oh no,
in the papers. Not that
that's
one.
already done.
Okay.
Yeah. So this is on the back of the budget statement yesterday, right? I mean, a lot of we're all looking forward to goodies and stuff. So I thought, hey, something else that is a little bit further down the road is two transport related topics. One is there'll be more incentives to get business owners really to convert their heavier vehicles, the big trucks and the big buses, to go electric.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right, so I mean, emissions from land transport, it is no joke, obviously, because there's just a lot of them. And if you look at it currently, as of January this year, we actually have only a handful of trucks of this tonnage, this size, as well as buses that are actually electric. Reason being, on one side you have vehicles that are more expensive,
But
because of the
infrastructure as
technology.
well, right?
Yes, and the
Yeah.
infrastructure. So the announced moves, I mean, we get more details soon, is really about making it easier for owners to make the switch in terms of from buying the vehicles and also getting planting those chargers that they will need, which, if you imagine, they won't be at multi-story car parks because big
Yeah.
trucks don't go in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's about whether it's factories or facilities, your vehicle hubs, that have to be in some way made easier to put these chargers in place.
This is obviously something I've never thought about, but where do big trucks and buses actually fuel up? Because they don't go into regular petrol stations, right?
Yeah.
Where do they go?
So, good point. Well, oftentimes with these, if you imagine who are owning these vehicles or using these vehicles, I'll go with buses first. I
Yeah.
think that's kind of relatable. Is that you don't see a coach leaving the
Petrol
airport and filling up at,
Yeah.
at the petrol station. So, oftentimes what happens with these bigger operators, right? They have their own pumps in their depots.
Ah, right. Okay.
Right?
Okay.
But even then, if you think about it, the challenge is years ago when I started talking to some of these owners, they go like, we really want to put in these chargers because we want to go electric. Cost aside,
But-
they have the challenge of saying that, hey, my land, this piece of land I'm sitting on has a remaining lease of 8-10 years.
Oh.
They can't amortize it. I mean, some still do because
Yeah.
there is a lot of mix of curiosity and really there's a commitment to make the switch. So they spend a lot of money. But I guess here with this announced upcoming incentives is really to help to lower that bar, that resistance.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like no matter how many charging points they put up, right, as the EV population grows, right, it's not going to be enough still.
Yeah, so
You know what I mean?
6,000, right?
No.
That's the number, right?
Yeah, no,
6,000
look,
charging
let
points.
me just put it this way, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, you can have 10 charging points, let's say, at a commercial building or whatever.
But if
everybody
everyone's
is
an
driving
EV,
an EV,
yeah.
there'll be a queue. No?
Yeah.
There'll be people just waiting, no, hey, finish already or not, So I think the key here is that all chargers, if possible, needs to be DC.
Yeah.
Because the AC takes way too long.
yeah.
Way too long, and a DC, maybe an hour. It's still quite long if you have never driven a EV before and you're thinking of buying an EV.
Absolutely.
You're thinking to yourself, hey, if I go to the petrol kiosk, I just,
Yeah.
one time, full tank.
Pay
now,
and go,
I got to
yeah.
sit somewhere and wait 1 hour. I mean,
Yeah. But I think that's also going to be, probably a lot further down the line than beyond our existence would be that these charging stations would then have places that you can actually sit and wait, like cafes, like pit stops in like the US and Australia and stuff like that. Or is it ever realistic that every car park lot will have a charging point down the line?
Well, there are a couple of possible topics in that point. Number one is that there's this concept of destination charging.
Okay, let's
let's
talk
go
about
on.
that. Yeah.
Kiss 92 traffic.
On the PIE towards the airport, at the ECP airport exit, look out for a broken down vehicle. If you spot anything else, it's 8855-0920.
Good morning, Singapore, and welcome back to The Big Show and The Big Show TV. Our second guest for today is someone we haven't seen in a while, but we're so glad he's back with us. He is our senior transport correspondent right here at SPH, the Straits Times, Nian Tjoe. Good morning, Nian Tjoe.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. So we're talking about a couple of things today, but off the back of the budget announcements yesterday was a topic about how to increase and make sort of the entry level of larger EVs like buses and trucks, that adoption a higher number. Tell us a little bit more in regular speak, layman's terms.
So in English,
Yes.
it's basically there's a plan to get people, or rather business owners, to switch out of their usually diesel big trucks as well as big buses, large buses, for electric options. Okay. So it's doing by two ways. One is to make it a little bit cheaper, hopefully, through rebates, right, likely, on the purchase price. The other one is to do with to make it easier for chargers to be installed in their facilities.
Okay, so the chargers would have to be at their offices or their depots,
Yes.
their parking zones.
Yeah,
and
because
stuff
you
like
imagine these trucks, they're above 3.5 tons. So they're big ones. So these big guys can't be moved into your multi-story car parks that we are familiar with, or shopping malls. Yeah. So and it's an interesting, or I would say a necessary step if you are serious about making this switch to get to lower emissions for land transport.
Yeah.
Right. So a couple of things that you can think about it, and well, most of us are not truck drivers or bus drivers, but we are on the road. If you're, say, at a bus stop and you get we're really starting to get some of these benefits when you consider that if you have one of those newer buses, there are about the first batch is already running around, they're electric, and you go like, hey, hang on, there isn't this diesel fumes, you don't hear the noise.
It is, it's quite pleasant.
Yeah, I remember when I used to take a bus, right? I mean, when I was in school, whenever these buses, come back to back against each other, right? And you're sitting there at the bus stop and it's like,
hot.
you're breathing in, fumes. You can also almost see the, smoke coming up from the exhaust pipe, and you get that smell.
Yes.
but now it's like,
It's very clean.
And it will improve because we have more of these public buses, at least, are actually the largest part of the population of these big heavy vehicles that are going electric.
Yeah.
It's happening, but not immediately.
You were talking about charging infrastructures. Now, there are charging stations at like places like industrial parks and all that, because I've charged before. Can these buses and trucks also utilize the same chargers as cars?
So the way I see it there is, if you're talking about do the connectors work? Yes.
Oh, they do. Okay.
It's universal.
There is a national charging standard.
Okay.
The problem here is that if you have a big bus, you can't fit into the lot of a regular spot, right? Because we actually have seen how incentives have moved the needle with the smaller vehicles, the small vans that are doing the deliveries. Oftentimes, whether it's your first and last mile for your online purchases and whatnot. So that has seemed to push businesses to make the switch.
Right.
And I see it from the other angle. It's not just from the demand side, but the people or the dealers that are selling these vehicles go like, oh, now there's a potential market. Let me open up this market as well by bringing in usable alternatives.
Right. But like the buses, for example, I mean, even our regular buses, petrol, right? Or diesel rather. They don't go to a regular petrol kiosk and top up. They usually do it at the depot, right?
Yes.
So for the EVs, I mean, if that is done, is it enough on one charge?
So good
Perhaps,
point.
maybe?
It really depends on the from what I've learned is that a lot of it depends on the use case, right? So if you talk about buses, for example, one of those places you will expect to see big coaches will be, say, the airport.
Yeah.
Right? That's at one end of the country, of our island. And then I remember talking to some of these guys and they said that, yeah, but our depots is all the way in the west. Right? So this to and fro takes about 70 km.
Okay,
Right?
which is,
Okay?
shouldn't be a problem.
It shouldn't be a problem. It sounds like it, but because buses are big, right? And the technology is, of course, evolving. But back then, we're having this conversation. It says the bus is about 200-ish kilometers that they can comfortably use. You cannot risk having a busload of passengers and you go like, hey, guys,
I've run out of battery.
like, oops, anybody got a power bank? Right? Yeah, so there is, I think what that surfaces is the need to say, let's have charging points either in the midpoint or somewhere else. And so there's this another facet of this charging network that we need to see being developed before the users of these businesses can say, yes, I can make the switch.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Charging points. We're talking about this. Last point here. Charging points. We're talking about this on the Big Show TV earlier on. Do you think we will ever have enough charging points as our EV population grows?
I think the way I see it is that we are still in the relatively early phase. We're talking about the population is still in a single percentage point, right? But new vehicles, yes, you have more and more new vehicles. I think for passenger cars, we're talking about 1 in 3 in 2024. The registration were electric. But there's also, it's not just about having chargers. There's the question of the type of chargers and how you use the chargers. So briefly, you have fast chargers that can do the job. They give you 100 km in less than an hour. Actually, they're getting faster. Then they have the slow chargers that are meant to, you can leave it there for 8 hours.
Overnight, yeah.
So there is this different use case, different applications, whether you are, say, I need a quick charge while I'm having lunch, for example. Or if you are, say, like when you're at a golf course, you're there for 5 hours. You could really fill up an EV in that time.
And some golf courses have it here in Singapore, right? Not all. I'm quite disappointed. I think every single golf club should have chargers.
Yeah.
But it's coming back to this, is that so about the habit of the drivers. And then coming back, then you're going to ask the question: do you have enough chargers based on this sort of habits? And I think I can just think of a parallel that we have in our daily lives, which is the behaviors we have with our smartphones today. Right? It used to be when you have a dumb phone, you plug it in and you don't see the plug for a week. You could go on a trip without bringing a charger.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
Right? And today, what do we do when we get into the office?
Immediately plug it in.
Let me just plug it in and just get a little bit
Just
more.
in case.
5 or 10% more is fine. So this concept can also be transposed onto EVs. Right, where whether you're doing a grocery run or just getting a meal, you could get some charging done then. So in other words, very early on we used to be thinking, you need 8 hours to charge a car. But it is not always this case, because in effect you don't charge when it's down to zero.
Right.
Yeah.
So there's all this behavior that will change. So hardware, yes, there's need for that. But I think also behaviors in terms of the drivers and the users of these vehicles, they will learn.
They'll learn,
And EV
They'll get
companies
used to it.
usually will discourage people from charging 100% even.
Yep.
You know, they always say slightly below.
As with phones as well,
Yes.
That's right. Okay, this is where we need to check on out of here. Thank you very much, Nian Tjoe, for joining us today, as always.
Pleasure.
Our senior transport correspondent from the Straits Times, Nian Tjoe. Up next, headline news and sports. Keep it right here on Kiss 92.
The Big Show with Glenn and Angel on Kiss 92.